High school was bad. I was obviously gay, and some kids didn't like that, and I did get harassed.
Okay, little ones, here's the first thing you need to know.
You are perfect and wonderful exactly as you are.
You're not alone.
There are a ton of us out here in this world.
We love you without even knowing you.
That it's some inevitable part of growing up. It's not. We have an obligation to ensure that our schools are safe for all of our kids. And to every young person out there, you need to know that if you're in trouble, there are caring adults who can help. I don't know what it's like to be picked on for being gay, but I do know what it's like to grow up feeling that sometimes you don't belong. It's tough. And for a lot of kids, the sense of being alone or apart, I know it can just wear on you. And when you're teased or bullied, it can seem like somehow you brought it on yourself for being different or for not fitting in with everybody else. But what I want to say is this: you are not alone. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything to deserve being bullied. And there is a whole world waiting for you, filled with possibilities. There are people out there who love you and care about you just the way you are. And so, if you ever feel like because of bullying, because of what people are saying, that you're getting down on yourself, you've got to make sure to reach out to people you trust. Whether it's your parents, teachers, folks that you know care about you just the way you are, you've got to reach out to them. Don't feel like you're in this by yourself. The other thing you need to know is things will get better. And more than that, with time you're going to see that your differences are a source of pride and a source of strength. You'll look back on the struggles you faced with compassion and wisdom, and that's not just going to serve you, but it'll help you get involved and make this country a better place. It'll mean that you'll be more likely to help fight discrimination, not just against LGBT Americans, but discrimination in all its forms. It means you'll be more likely to understand personally and deeply why it's so important that as adults we set an example in our own lives and that we treat everybody with respect, that we are able to see the world through other people's eyes and stand in their shoes, that we never lose sight of what binds us together. As a nation, we're founded on the belief that all of us are equal and each of us deserves the freedom to pursue our own version of happiness, to make the most of our talents, to speak our minds, to not fit in, most of all, to be true to ourselves. That's the freedom that enriches all of us. That's what America's all about. And every day, it gets better.
I'm Zachary Quinto, and I want to add to the chorus of voices rising up against the kind of hatred and ridicule that led to the senseless and heartbreaking suicides of Asher Brown, Seth Walsh, Billy Lucas, Tyler Clementi, and Raymond Chase in just the past few months in this country. And those are only the names that we've come to know. There are countless other teens and young adults who are struggling to find a sense of identity and belonging in a chaotic and often unforgiving world. And to you, I say it gets better. There is help to be found. There are places to turn. There are people who will listen. TheTrevorProject.org 1-866-4U-TREVOR is a place to start. Start there, start anywhere, but start by believing that life is worth living and you will find your way. And I'm proud to be a voice that stands to remind you of that anytime you ever come close to forgetting it.
Hi, I'm Chris Colfer. In the last couple weeks, a number of LGBT youth have tragically taken their own lives due to some ugly circumstances of their environments. If you or anyone you know are also having a rough time, it is vital that you know that there are people out there who care and can help. I know what it's like to be bullied and teased every single day, and I know that it may seem like there is no chance of happiness left, but I promise you there is a world full of acceptance and love just waiting for you to find it. So please, before you take a drastic action that could be your last, call the Trevor Project. Know that you have friends, you are loved, and that you are not alone. And know that despite such a current challenging time, there's so much to look forward to. And I look forward to sharing it with you. I promise it gets so much better. Thank you.
Look at me, 80 years old. It gets better with age. It gets more respect. It's funnier that I can laugh at some of the things that I've done. And my era was very difficult to be out. And yet I always found a laugh. I always found some humor.
Life is beautiful, and we're beautiful, and we are family. So don't give up. We're all here for you.
What you feel at 13 or 17 or 15 can be very different than what is going to ultimately happen to you. You're not going to be depressed. You're not going to grow up and be old and depressed and alone. That's not the way it is. That's the image that some people would like to project.
Hi, this is Stephen Colbert. I have a message for any gay and lesbian teens out there. And I'm being told also bisexual and transgendered. Really anybody who's being picked on. It sucks. I agree. When I was in 7th grade, I remember being picked on all the time. And I got called queer a lot. And it just sort of the word that got thrown as a weapon at people when I was a kid. And just the most hurtful thing I think that the bullies could think of calling you. And I didn't like it. And one day I had this revelation because a friend of mine named Pat, who also got picked on by the bullies, was called a queer by one of the bullies, a big jock. And Pat, instead of sort of flinching or running away, turned around and said, yeah, I am a queer. Kiss me. And the bully said, what are you talking about? And he said, I'm a queer. You called me queer, I am a queer. Kiss me, I'll prove it. And the bully didn't know what to say. And he just turned around and walked away quietly. And I was stunned. I couldn't believe the magic that Pat had just worked. He had somehow figured out that if you don't give power to the words that people throw at you to hurt you, they don't hurt you anymore. And you actually have power over those people. And that's a lesson that I am grateful to him for my entire life. So, if you can, realize that the things that people say about you don't really matter. It's who you are. And the older you get, the more you'll understand that. Because it gets better. People get nicer too.
Hi, I'm Jane and I'm from Chicago.
Hi, I'm Laura and I'm from Birmingham, Alabama.
I realized I was gay when I was about 12 and I thought it was a disease and I had it.
Yeah, I realized I was gay when I was 14 and Martina Navratilova got outed. And then I found out there was such a...
Teens who have been teased and bullied and then committed suicide, like 13-year-old Seth Walsh in Tehachapi, California, 13-year-old Asher Brown in Cypress, Texas, and 15-year-old Billy Lucas in Greensburg, Indiana. This needs to be a wake-up call to everyone that teenage bullying and teasing is an epidemic in this country and the death rate is climbing. One life lost in this senseless way is tragic. 4 lives lost is a crisis. And these are just the stories we hear about. How many other teens have we lost? How many others are suffering in silence? Being a teenager and figuring out who you are is hard enough without some...
In Spokane, Washington, which is a mid-sized town with a small town mentality. And I was picked on mercilessly in school. People were really cruel to me. I was bullied a lot, beat up, thrown against walls and lockers and windows, stuffed into bathroom stalls. People shit on my car, people scratched my car, broke my windows. And my parents went in once to talk to the school administrators about the harassment I was getting at school, and they basically said, if you look that way, talk that way, walk that way, act that way, then there's nothing we can do to help your son. Honestly, things got better the day I left high school. I didn't see the bullies every day. I didn't see the people who harassed me every day. I didn't have to see the school administrators who would do nothing about it every day. Life instantly got better.
If there are 14 and 15 and 16-year-olds